trying to figure out if he's in here. Did you hear? Okay, yeah, we're waiting. I'm not talking to myself.
No, I know. You said the name. So.
Then my producer was asking. Hey, Walker, can you hear me? I'm on IFB, so I can hear you.
Acaba de entrar todo, pero aquí estamos todos tratando de identificar si ya entró él o no.
That's the reason.
Okay.
No, es que estamos aquí todos mirando ahora.
Doing some phone calls?
They
Is he really?
signal your guy over there, Jaime. He's the one who told me he's gonna let me know.
Which one, Rolando?
Mm-hmm. Just ask him if he's in there. If he's here, he's gonna find out.
No, let me see that again.
Let me show that. Yeah. Just hit me, bro. Espérame. Quítate, güey.
Están todos.
No, aquí no hay nadie, estoy solo. If you knock her out, I'm sorry.
FMLA.
U otro delito cuyo castigo se limita.
You're in the Harris County Jail in Houston, Texas. In a few minutes, you'll appear before a magistrate who will tell you why you have been arrested. The magistrate will look at the reasons why you were arrested, decide whether or not there was enough evidence for your arrest, and whether there is enough evidence to keep you in custody. The magistrate will make those determinations from information presented by the prosecuting attorney or peace officers. If the magistrate finds there is no probable cause for your arrest, you will be released from custody. If the magistrate finds there is probable cause, you will continue to be detained. The magistrate will ask you to identify yourself by your full name. If you do not think you're the person against whom the arrest warrant was issued, you should tell the magistrate. If you do not think you're the person against whom the complaint or the indictment was made, you should tell the magistrate. You should tell the magistrate if your name is not spelled correctly. If you are not a citizen of the United States, you can ask the magistrate to notify your nation's local consulate of your arrest. If you're a citizen of a country that requires the United States government to notify it when one of its citizens is arrested, the magistrate will tell you that your consulate will be notified of your arrest. If you are a Mexican citizen or a citizen of a Central or South American country, you will be asked for your name as it appears in the records of your home country. The magistrate will give you certain warnings and advise you of your rights. For example, you have the right to remain silent, and you have an attorney with you during any questioning by peace officers or prosecutors. You will also be told that if you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, you have the right to request an attorney to be appointed for you. If you do not think you can afford to hire an attorney, you will sign a written request to have an attorney appointed, and the Pretrial Services Agency will help you fill out the paperwork to show that you are not financially able to hire an attorney. The decision to appoint an attorney for you will be made by the judge who will hear your case. That decision will be made after the judge considers your pretrial interview, your financial information, and any sworn testimony. The magistrate will also review the amount of your bail. If you are accused of a Class A or B misdemeanor, the magistrate will consider your release on a personal bond. You may be released by posting a surety bond or by depositing cash in the amount of your bail. If you're not released on bail, you will appear before the judge in the court which your case is assigned on the next business day. If you are released on bail, you will be required to appear in the court in which your case is filed in 7 days. If you have posted a surety bond, the bonding company will notify you of the date you must appear in court. If you are released on a personal bond, the Pretrial Services Agency will notify you of the date you must appear in court. If you have posted a cash bond, a deputy sheriff will tell you the date you must appear in court. And if you are accused of a traffic offense or issuing a bad check or another offense punishable by only a fine, you will also come before the magistrate who will advise you of the charges and your rights. Most of these offenses have been filed in the Harris County Justice of the Peace Courts or in a Justice of the Peace Court in another county. For these types of cases filed in Harris County Justice of the Peace Courts, the magistrate will ask you to enter your plea to the charge. pleas are not guilty, guilty, or no contest. A plea of no contest means the same as a plea of guilty, but your plea cannot be used against you in a civil proceeding that might arise out of the same transaction. If you plead not guilty, your case will be set for trial. You may insist on your right to a jury trial, or you may waive that right and have your case tried by the Justice of the Peace. The magistrate will ask you if you want a trial by jury. If you waive that right, your case will be tried by the judge. If you refuse to enter a plea, the magistrate will enter a plea of not guilty for you, and your case will be set for a jury trial unless you waive that right. When you plead not guilty, the magistrate will set your bail and consider your release on a personal bond. If you plead guilty or no contest, your case will be disposed of immediately. You will be assessed a fine as punishment. For traffic cases, usually the maximum fine is $200, and for other offenses, the maximum fine is $500 together with court costs. In most cases, you will be entitled to a credit of $50 against the fine and cost assessed for each day you spend in jail from the time of your arrest until the time of sentencing. You may pay any balance due to secure your release from jail, or you may, if you're unable to pay, the magistrate will consider allowing you to pay at a later date. If you're given time to pay the remaining fine and court costs, but you do not pay the remaining fine and cost within 31 days, you will owe an additional fee of $25. If you do not pay the remaining fine and cost within 60 days, you will owe an additional fee if your case is referred for collection, or if the Department of Public Safety is notified to deny the renewal of your driver's license, or if the Department of Transportation is notified to deny the renewal of your registration. If you do not pay your fine and court costs, the court may also issue a warrant for arrest. You will still owe the additional fees for the issuance of the warrant. If you are convicted 2 or more times for failing to maintain fiscal responsibility or no liability insurance, your driver's license and motor vehicle registration will be suspended unless you file and maintain evidence of financial responsibility with the Department of Public Safety.
So the guy in the middle has a bald head too.
Yeah, he's got glasses on.
Oh, he does.
The one with the hoodie?
And then he just took his cap off his head.
Oh, okay. I see. There's another ball. Black shirt?
Yeah.
Blue trim?
Okay.
Somebody else in there, yes. Must be, right?
That's him.
Okay.
That looks like him.
Ashley,
I think that's him.
go ahead. Okay, Ashley Gayona bonded.
That's him. That's him.
And Matthew
Hey,
Williams
Walker,
bonded.
he's here, Walker.
I guess I don't have Williams on here. Here he is. No, I did. Okay. Gayona and Williams bonded. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jill Wallace. I'm a criminal law hearing officer here in Harris County, Texas. You're here because you've been accused of committing a crime against the state of Texas. You have the following rights. You have the right to retain counsel. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have an attorney present during any interview with peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You have a right to terminate that interview at any time. You are not required to make any statement, but any statements you make may be used against you. You have the right to an examining trial if you've been accused of a felony, not been indicted. And you have the right to request the appointment of a lawyer if you cannot afford to hire a lawyer. Do y'all understand your rights? The procedure in Harris County for requesting the appointment of a lawyer is as follows. First, you must tell me you're requesting the appointment of a lawyer. I'll pass that request on to the judge in the court where your case is pending. When you get to that court, you'll need to make a written request for a lawyer. You'll also need to provide information under oath regarding your assets, your income, and your expenses. Based upon that information, the judge will determine whether or not you can afford to hire a lawyer. If the judge determines you're financially unable to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you. If a lawyer is appointed to represent you, you'll be able to speak to the lawyer at that court setting. The procedure for this afternoon will be, I'll call your name, you'll come stand in the red box. I'll tell you what you're charged with, and the prosecutor will read the information made the basis of the charge against you. I'll determine whether or not probable cause exists for your arrest. Your bond will be reviewed and a bond will be set. First person is going to be Chimene Onyeri.
Sorry.
Mr. Onyeri, you've been charged with murder.
Officers found the body of the complaining witness lying on the ground in a courtyard area near a swimming pool. He had apparent gunshot wounds to his body and head. Officers began investigating the offense. They discovered a car accident that appeared as though it may be related. The car accident happened nearby the location where the complainant was found back in May of 2015. During the car accident, there became a physical altercation between the complaining witness and this defendant's father, wherein the complainant punched this defendant's father in the face with a fist, causing some broken bones and treatment at a hospital. As the investigation continued into the homicide case, a tip came into the homicide division where a person who knows this defendant said that the defendant had spoken to them and had bragged about the shooting of Jacobi Alexander, the complaining witness. The information that this witness gave officers during an interview was detailed, and it was information that was not released to the public, including how the defendant had, or how the complainant had crossed the courtyard, and how the defendant had approached him and shot him at least 4 times in the abdomen and then stood over him, shooting him 4 more times in the head at close range.
Probable cause for your arrest, Mr. Onyeri. Bond is set at no bond. You are going to the 184th District Court, Judge Jan Crocker. Are you requesting the court to appoint you a lawyer, or are you going to hire your own lawyer? Mr. Onyeri, are you a U.S. citizen? All right, thank you. You can go with the deputies. Crystal Molina.
See you, Baba. Crazy. Make sure there's that.